Hi crafty friends, welcome back to Crafting with the Gringas. Today we have a new addition to our squarie pies. We're going to be making a squarie pie Grinch. And so for that we're going to need some 2 or 3 weight yarn. If you want to use a different hook size and a different yarn weight, that would be great. If I'm going to be using some yarn scraps. So you guys see what you have around the house, or you can go purchase to make these, especially if you're going to make several. Would be fun. So we're going to be using red, white, green. We'll be using some black and a small amount of yellow yarn, and then we're going to be using some safety eyes, and we'll talk about more about that in part 2 of our project. And we're going to be using some stuffing as well in part 2 of our project. So let's get started. I'm going to start. So I'm going to be using a 2mm hook, and I have a 3 weight yarn. It's between a 2 and a 3 weight yarn. I'm going to start with the white. Let's make a slip knot. There we go. So we're going to start by chaining 26. I've got my 26 chains. Now we're going to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. So that one we're not going to work into. We're going to work into the next one. We're going to do a single crochet. We're going to do a total of 4 single crochets in the white. We're going to bring in our red yarn, and we're going to stick our hook and back into that stitch, and we're going to pull our red yarn through the stitch, and then we can pull on our white. Now we're going to do 4 single crochets with the red yarn. Okay, there I've got 4. I'm going to pass the white yarn up the back, and we're going to pull that through the red and pull it snugly. Now we're going to do 4 white single crochets. Okay, we're going to get our red now and switch it. Do 4 red single crochets. I'm going to pull on my white again. And do 4 white single crochets. Periodically just go in straighten. You can take your yarn balls and make sure that they don't get tangled. Okay, we finished up our white with the red, and now we're gonna do 4 more red single crochets. And again, we're gonna pull the white and drop the red yarn and pull the white through to finish our stitch. Okay, and now what we're gonna do, instead of working up, we're gonna work along the bottom of our chain. So we're gonna find that first chain and single crochet. And we're gonna do 4. We're going to take our red and we're going to pull that through to finish off our stitch. We're going to do 4 red single crochets. Okay, now we're going to pull up our white and finish off with the white and do 4 white single crochets. And then finish off with our red. Now 4 single crochets with the white. And to finish off this round, we're going to do 4 red single crochets. Okay, so once we've finished this off, we're going to finish off with the white. So from now on, we're going to be doing white on the white and red on the red. Okay, so every time you get to red, you're going to finish your last white stitch, you're going to finish off with the red so you can transition to red. So let's finish off with white for our last stitch. And there's an important tip with amigurumis that what we're going to want to do is go into the front loop only. So when I do my next single crochet in white, I'm not going to take the back loop. I'm going to go only through the front loop. And what that's going to do is help keep our blocks of color from slanting. That's going to keep them a little bit straighter. We don't want them to slant over. We want them to be straight up and down, and so that's what it's going to do. So all of these need to be done in the front loop only. So you're just going to keep going. Front loop only. Red single crochets over red stitches, and white single crochets over white stitches. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going around in that form. So 4 white single crochets over the white stitches, and then 4 red, 4 white and 4 red, and we're gonna do 4. So right now we've got, on this side we've got 1, and on this side we have 2 rows. When we get back to here, we're gonna have 2 rows completed. We're gonna do 4 rows. We're gonna make 4 rows total. I will meet you back when our 4 rows are done. Okay, I'm back with my 4 rows on each side. I know that you more experienced crocheters have already done this, but remember, you're going to want to turn the inside out because that's the right side. So that's what the outside looks like, and the inside looks like this. Okay, you're going to want to take this tail that we left when we changed colors, and we're going to pull that through so we can weave it in later. If you want, you can weave it in right now. Okay, so I've got my last stitch right here that I've done. So on that stitch, we're going to switch and use the green. So this, the white and the red yarn, we can leave a little bit of a tail and cut it. That's how much I have left. And then we're going to want to get our green, and we're going to work that and finish off. We're going to finish off that single crochet with green. And we'll make sure we pull tight on both. I'm just going to take a minute and tie off these 2 since we're not going to be doing any more color work. Just tie these off. Okay, and we can even tie this one off, or you can work it in like the other one that we're going to do at the bottom. I'm just going to tie mine off. And for just this row, the first row, we're going to do a back loop only. Single crochets. So all this, every stitch is going to get a back loop only single crochet, and we're going to leave that front loop. If you're making this for a young child, make sure that all of your ends get woven in really well so that the project can't come apart very easily. We always have to have extra precaution when you're making something crocheted for a young child. And I do suggest not when we get to the safety eye step, you may want to opt out and do an embroidered eye instead of safety eyes, or at least use a very, very high quality safety eye, because there's some that aren't as high quality and they can come off, they can pop off very easily. So just be aware of that and make sure that you take the proper precautions, because it's pretty important. And so we're just going to keep single crocheting in the back loop of each stitch. So for the red and the white, we were front loop only. We were only taking the front loop, and now we're only taking the back. And you see how we're leaving a little ridge right here, so it looks kind of like a scarf, like it's popped out a little bit. It'll be very cute little detail on our Grinch once we get him done. I like watching the Grinch. It's a fun video. It's a cute show. The thing that I like about it is the fact that he thought he was ruining Christmas, when Christmas isn't about presents or what you get or what you're going to eat or anything like that. It's more about spending time together. And so it's nice. It's nice that when he finally realizes that all that stuff is nice, but it's not what Christmas is about. And so it's fun. But anyway. I'm here and I've got my first round of green. I've got my back loop only. So we've got this front loop poking out. Now on this one, if you want to continue going through both loops, that's fine. It's however is comfortable for you. Since I do a lot of amigurumi, I do tend to just go through the front loop because I like the fact that the stitches line up more instead of rotating around. And so it's just up to you. Like right here, the lines are straight because we did the front loop. Once you do the face, if you do go through both loops, it's gonna kind of start to shift your stitches a little bit. It's not gonna look bad. It's just a personal preference of mine to do front loop only. So I'm gonna switch to front loop only, but you can switch to going through both loops if that's how you prefer to crochet, through both loops. Okay, and so we've got one round of single crochets, and so we're going to keep going around either in the front loop only or through all of the stitches, and we're going to do 14 more rows of single crochet. We have 4 here for the scarf, and then we're going to do 15 in total for the green, which is going to make 19 rows all together. Okay, so I will meet you back when you've got your 15 rows of green. Okay, I'm back with my 15 rows. So in total, we're going to have 19 rows. That will be all for this episode. So meet me back in the next episode and we'll finish our Grinch. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.